Hi, everybody. This is a shorter practice designed to help you cultivate a steady mind through asana, through movement, through intentional movement. So let's begin. You might want to have two blocks handy. They're not critical, but they might be helpful. And let's begin in downward facing dog. So part of what helps us steady our mind in asana practice is paying a lot of attention to our alignment, right? We do it because it's good for the body, but we also do it because it gives us something to focus on. So in your down dog, spread your fingers, root through each knuckle, push the floor away, and externally rotate the shoulders. We could bring the outer borders of the shoulders down toward the floor, outer borders of the shoulder blades, or another way to approach that is dialing the hands outward away from each other. Like you could screw your hands into the floor. Let's breathe here, focusing on a smooth and steady breath. Making our way into warrior one. And step your left foot forward, bring it between your hands, and then step your back foot in just enough so you can root the heel down. From here, the front knee stays bent. We're rising up to upright spine and stretching arms up toward the ceiling. If you get back discomfort, you can keep your hands down. Imagine you could drag your front foot back and squeeze your back glute. Focus on slow, steady breath. With care and control, plant your hands and step back to downward facing dog. Keep your mind, your awareness, your focus on the sensations in your body and the flow of your breath. Second side for warrior one, get your right foot forward, however you need to. Scoot your back foot in enough to bring the heel to the ground. Front knee is stacked with the ankle, rising up. If it feels okay for the back, arms reach up. Front foot is dragging back without actually moving, and back glute, back buttock muscles are squeezing. Gaze is steady, so we're not looking around. Paying attention to the transitions just as much as you pay attention to the poses themselves. So make your way back to downward facing dog. It would be better to bend the knees than to round the spine. So if you're hyper focused on straight legs and heels down, and that means you're rounding the spine, you're not getting as much as you could out of the pose. It'd be better to bend the knees, not worry about the heels getting down, and focus on lengthening through your spine. Next, we have a high crescent lunge or Ashtachandrasana. So again, we'll step the left foot forward. This time, we'll keep the back heel lifted and the toes pointing forward, the front knee bent, rising up. You can bend your back knee if it helps you to be more level in the pelvis. So I don't like to teach this as a big back bend. I feel like it centers all of the force, all of the load in one part of the back. So neutral pelvis rather than tipping forward. Extend through your back leg. And again, maybe arms reach up. If they're up, they're actually reaching up. Please don't pull your shoulders down away from your ears when your arms are overhead. Reach, reach, reach. Breathing, steady focus, steady gaze, steady mind. Hands plant, step back, downward facing dog. If down dog isn't working for you, you can simply step switch to the second side of the standing pose. Right foot forward, back heel stays lifted, front knee stays stacked with the ankle, rising up. Bend your back knee in order to make your pelvis more level rather than tilting forward. The pelvis level, maybe you can push back through the heel and get a nice stretch for the front of the hip. Maybe reaching the arms actively up. Hands touch down, step back, downward facing dog. Last big standing asana, warrior three. Step your left foot about halfway to your hands. If you're using blocks, you can bring them underneath your hands and out in front of you. So when you rise up, you might have to walk your hands back so they're right beneath the shoulders. We want the pelvis level here. We don't want it to the bottom, the back hip to lift up. So we want to dial this aerial hip down and lift from the inner thigh. Extend through the leg back, forward through your chest. Maybe extend your arms back or airplane or out in front of you. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Second side, stepping right foot or whatever your second side is, about halfway forward. If you're using blocks, you can bring them underneath your shoulders and rise to stand. So the aerial leg, that hip, we want to dial it down from here, dial it down, lift from the inner thigh. A lot of times people end up opening the hip because it's the only way they can get the leg up. So level hips and leg up as best you can. Send energy back through the leg, forward through the chest. Maybe one arm reaches forward, maybe both arms. Bringing hands back down to touch downward facing dog. One more time. Take little steps, let the knees bend, walk the feet up toward your hands, and then rise to stand in mountain pose. Spread through your toes, lengthen through your spine. Awareness on the flow of breath. Cultivating a steady, even rhythm. From here, I'd like to come into a squat variation with feet together. You could bring your hands down and let your heels come up. And maybe even actively lift the heels and bring your hands to your thighs and get a little more upright through the spine. So if this doesn't work for you, you can certainly have the wider, more typical squat that you see in yoga class, and or you could sit onto a couple of blocks, right? It could be right here. Or here. Be all in this moment, all in this shape, all in this body. Here, bring your hands down. If you've been sitting on blocks, scoot them aside and make your way into child's pose. Breathe into the back ribs especially. Rise up to all fours and come down onto your forearms. Elbows shoulder width apart, directly beneath the shoulders. And if it's available, try to have your hands shoulder width apart as well. Push the floor away as best you can with your elbows. So I'm not sinking at all between the shoulder blades. There's a lifting or a protraction. Gaze is down at the ground between the arms, not back toward the knees. Back of the head pressing up toward the ceiling. So slight tuck in the chin. Keep strongly pushing the floor away with your elbows. Stay right here or stretch your legs back to come into forearm plank. Everything is engaged here. If I relax my glutes and my legs, it's a lot more work for the back and the shoulders. So squeeze your glutes, push back through your heels, engage your abdominals. Lower your knees down to the ground and make your way onto your back. We'll use our block here in a moment, so you might just want to have it handy. Lying on your back with your feet hip width apart. You could go wider or narrower. It's good to vary your setup. If you do it the same way every single time, you load this exact same tissues every single time. And this can lead to asymmetries over time. Okay, let's scoot the feet a little away from the body, not from each other. You could do that too, as I mentioned. And so they're not right underneath the knees. And let's make the pelvis neutral. So pubic bone and your ASIS, those bony points in the front of your pelvis, are all on the same plane instead of having the pubic bone tipped up toward the ceiling. So when you have neutral pelvis, you should end up with a little space between your lower back and the floor. Feel your toes into the ground, your heels, your toe mounds. And then let's keep the pelvis as it is. So don't change. Don't lift the pubic bone up. the whole pelvis coming up as a unit, just about 4 inches or so, maybe a fist or fist and a half height. You can feel with your hands or even take a look. Did your pubic bone tip up? Try to tip it away, neutral pelvis. Squeeze your glute muscles a lot. Try bringing the ribs in and back and down with your exhalations. So let's work that a few breaths here. Inhaling more into the back ribs. Exhale, ribs toward the midline, toward the floor, and toward your pelvis. Try that a couple more times. Still rooting evenly through the feet, still active with the glutes, still neutral pelvis. Breath into the back ribs. Exhale, ribs toward the midline, toward each other, toward the floor, toward the pelvis. Once more on your own. And now let the pubic bone tip up so you can roll through your spine and articulate one vertebra at a time as you come down. Here's where we'll use our block. If you'd rather use the wall, you can do a legs up the wall. But I'll just show it this way because I know a lot of folks at home don't have wall space. So lifting the hips to place the block underneath the sacrum. Let's go low setting for today. Make sure the block's not underneath your lower back. It's below that. And then bringing the legs up to vertical. Try pressing your sacrum into the block. Energy through the legs, up toward the ceiling, flex the feet. Breath is in the foreground of awareness. Carefully bring the legs down. If you have any back issues, bring one foot down and then the other. Lift your pelvis off of the block. And again, tuck the tailbone to roll through your spine, one vertebra at a time coming down. From here, we'll come to sit. You can sit in Sukhasana, crossed at the shins. Or you could come into a half lotus, or maybe even a full lotus. Lotus is not a position you come into to stretch the hips. It's a position you come into when your hips are already open and ready for it. So please don't come into lotus or even half lotus if you're feeling a ton of sensation, particularly in the hips, and definitely we don't want to feel sensation in the knees. Close your eyes or let your gaze just drift down toward the floor in front of you. Slightly tuck the chin. This doesn't mean that the head itself comes forward. It just means that the chin lowers a little bit. Bring your breath into the foreground of your awareness. We're not trying to stop thinking. We're just trying not to get carried away by thoughts or sensations. So when something comes up, bubbles up to the surface, and the mind wants to go take a ride on it, not now, following the breath in and out. Just for a minute here. One breath at a time. And gently open your eyes. Remember that we don't ask for thoughts, but every time that you're able to come back to your breath is a victory. So if you had to come back 1,000 times in 1 minute, that was 1,000 little victories because you were able to stop the stream and come back into the present moment. We'll end with a full prostration, lying on your belly. With your arms extending forward, your hands connected like prayer, and your forehead on the mat. Breathing into the back ribs in particular. Feel the support of the earth beneath you. Honoring or bowing to or acknowledging something greater than yourself. You can stay here as long as you like, or lie onto your back for a more traditional Shavasana. Or if it's time to move on with your day or go to bed, then I wish you well. Thank you. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.